6:03, I'll now call to order the November 28th, 2016 meeting of the East Hampton Conservation Commission. The meeting is being recorded. Are there any public concerns, non-agenda items? Being none, we'll move on to public hearings and meetings. Continuation of the notice of intent filed by Cumberland Farms, Inc. for the construction of the Cumberland Farms facility at 221 Northampton Street, in the 100-foot buffer zone. Before we say anything, we have received an email from the applicant requesting that we continue from November 28th to December 12th in order to have sufficient, so they have sufficient time to prepare revised plans and comment response letters associated with the comments received from Mass DEP and the peer review engineer. Motion to continue to December 12th at 6 p.m.
I'll make a motion to continue to December 12th at 6 p.m.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Okay. So, that's that for now. I'm just gonna keep shifting the file. Next on the agenda, requests for certificates of compliance. City of East Hampton, Town Beach, Nashwauk Pond Fisherman Access Facility, DEP file number 151282. We received, as requested, hand-marked as-built plans depicting the slight deviations from the originally proposed plans that the commission approved during various public hearings as the project was progressing. They're dated November 26th, 2016. And signed by Terry Smith.
Is it like one sheet or?
It's 4 sheets, actually. With notes regarding as-built grades and other details. The stone lined versus grass lined water quality swale because of velocity. And even if there were no variations on the sheet, like the section sheet, he noted that it was part of the as-built set. So.
We didn't get that electronically though, right?
He emailed it to Jessica Allen.
Okay, I didn't see it.
I don't know if it got forwarded
Right.
around, so, it's consistent with what I was hoping and expecting we would get, just a better,
Oh,
record.
16th. Yep. So fired.
to accompany the letter that the statement that he provided. And I have noted that there was a site inspection on September 22nd, 2016, which I believe Dan Buttrick and I attended when we attended the ribbon cutting
Oh, sure.
dedication ceremony thing. So the applicant, the City of East Hampton, is requesting a complete certification that the work has been satisfactorily completed.
I move to certify the work has been satisfactorily completed and issue a certificate of compliance.
With any ongoing conditions?
Conditions number 55, 56, 57, 58, and 59.
Do you want to hold back that way you know that in minutes? Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
So
Wait, is the one that they changed the swale design?
yeah, they went from grass line to stone.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, so they, okay. Just wanted to make sure they noted that.
Chris was faster than I was.
Well, I think they say I have a folder, I don't want to give it to you. They're all actors. I'm getting from so many.
Okay.
Okay, so can we You wanna start signing the form down that end and just pass it back and I'll check the proper boxes. And I have the first page here.
So funny. It's a very nice pen.
Nice pen.
Is it what yours is it?
No, no, she has a real nice pen.
Oh. That's why you shouldn't trust me with paper. Because stuff like that happens all the time. One time I was taking a book test and I lost the test. And then amongst my papers.
Okay, complete with ongoing conditions. This they just want to put in the file, so it won't get recorded. I leave the original in the box for Jess Allen to record, since this is the city's project.
Sure. I suppose I should make a note of that, because that's what probably you were telling me.
Yes. We're good. All right. Moving on to a request for certificate of compliance, Paul Street Extension, Jillian Estates, DEP file number 151269, partial certificate for lot 531, Paul Street. Manually correct that. Commission performed a site visit on November 19th. Does anyone want to speak to the lot 5 site visit? Discussion, motion?
We thought the site was stable, correct? We also did look at some of the trees that, and shrubs that were requested to be removed. I think we agreed on the ones that were to be removed, that they would be acceptable.
Was that lot 5 or 6?
That was lot 6.
Okay, can we take care of
Sure,
this one
sure.
first? Okay. So consistent with other partial certificates for work in the buffer zone here, there are a number of ongoing conditions, that because there's so many of these, we have the standard, we excerpt them and attach them, as well as attaching the as-built plan prepared by Heritage. So the conditions for ongoing conditions are 17.
Not there yet.
Paused.
Jeez. Just a jeez. Gee whiz. Okay.
Okay, ongoing conditions, consistent with others, 17,
15? Yep.
34,
Before.
36 through 38, 41 through 43, and 48 through 51.
Okay.
Okay. Is there a motion to issue a partial certificate of compliance for lot 5?
I'll move to issue a partial certificate of compliance with ongoing conditions 1734, 36 through 38, 41 through 43, 48 through 51 for 31 Paul Street, lot number 5, Gillian Estates.
For a second.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Whoops, thank you. Start bringing my own keyboard.
Get you a bigger machine, get you happy.
It's not the machine, it's the keyboard.
Well, usually the machine's bigger, the keyboard goes with it.
Usually it would.
Oops.
Does that break the tip on fancy pen?
This is my last one I shared you.
Okay. This way, this that way. Pretty close to wearing through some of the keys on the keyboard.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah,
You do for any machines?
yeah, like the markings go.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but it's got a very smooth spot with an indentation. Yeah. I'm going for it.
Okay, so I'll just go make a quick copy. And give you the original. What did you end up doing
Must be nice to see those projects finishing up down there.
Yeah, it's working out nice, the last two houses.
Yeah.
Really nice. Nice young couple there, the last little kids, I wanna get one more family in there, so it's, 31, she's got a little baby,
Oh, okay.
so it'll be nice.
Our neighbor, on Beechwood they have a first grader and a third grader, third or fourth grader, and he's been hoping that, you know, that a boy his age is gonna move into the neighborhood, cause it's all girls and younger kids.
She's got two older boys, and there's a boy,
Oh,
I'm
yeah?
not sure how old he is,
Oh,
maybe
really?
like 10 or something like that.
It's a good gossip.
Grandmother lives in the condos,
Oh,
so
I
that's
see.
what's working out good for her. She babysits, so,
Built-in babysitter.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Who's the third grader?
Hmm?
Who's the third grader?
Sean Hopkins, yeah. Been joke with my parents that they should move in, but they've got other plans.
Are those senior living condos on the other side there? Or is that the?
Part of the, some of them are, at the back part are the 55 and older, the front is, I'm not sure where it ends, but not all of them are 55 and older.
So can we note that it was hand delivered to Mr. Barksdale?
Already got it.
All right, let's skip ahead to Paul Street Extension, Gillian Estates, so we can get you out of here and on with your evening.
Great.
Okay, so we received. Mark really wanted to send this report.
Yeah.
There were like two of the same thing attached to it. It's fine.
Yes, I saw it, but I've opened up both of them, like, wait, is he just sending in the
Is it
same
a
thing?
joke?
Oh, wait, the date's the same too, okay.
Yeah. So this is regarding lot number 630 Paul Street, new house construction ongoing. So the commission did a site visit on November 19th and viewed this area with regard to some trees and or shrubs / saplings that you would like to remove that are outside the limits of the silt fence. So I was not there. So, does
So
anyone want-
mostly right on the silt fence
Okay.
within a few feet, so it's not very far away.
With the exception, and so really it's this, I trust me with the pen now I have. So there's the second photo shows is that the tree that's leaning toward the house that?
Yeah, the black birch.
Yeah,
And then there was a larger, also black birch, right? Like a
Yeah, I think one's an
surprisingly
oak and
large
one's a black birch, but it's, unfortunately, it's hanging over where the deck would be, and we had one snap off on the other side, that's a vinyl railing, and it just missed the neighbors, and she's worried about like ice storms
Mhm.
and that snapping, so.
It's hard to see the topography here, but it's extremely steep.
well, I think it drops off dramatically right back here,
Right.
right?
Apparently
So,
something-
so how many, there's the black birch, there's the, I have it as a pine.
White
There's a
pine,
pine,
bittersweet,
with
and
the
there's the other
bittersweet.
one that's significant, is like a 3-inch oak.
Oh, yeah.
And the rest is like the brushy stuff that's got
Yeah.
a bittersweet growing on it.
Got it.
So you want to cut the three?
We'll leave the
technically-
stump so it holds the ground.
How close to the ground do you want to cut?
I mean, we'll leave the stump, like within 6 inches of the ground.
And what will you do, where will the rest of the tree go?
We'll chip up the branches and somebody's gonna take the hardwood for firewood. And there's one log we can get out of the black birch, take.
So where in the photo are the other trees? So there's this one, obviously.
That's all he's got for
There,
We took some pictures.
Okay.
I think, see that kind of leaning, that must be the,
Is it those two?
From this way, it's shadowy.
Mm-hmm, it's hard.
It's one of these, and it's right in this area. You can see here's the deck. It's right across from the deck, and not sure which one it is. This one looks like it's kind of leaning that way. This is, like you say, there's a silt fence, but actually this is partially on their property,
Mhm.
and that's all. You can see it leans right up to the house.
Mhm.
And these here have all the bittersweet vines growing on them. So that's kind of the brushy stuff that we're gonna take. But it's really hard to, see, right, that tree right there, you see that? That's it.
Well, if you want to look at some of these photos, maybe
Yeah.
there's something that I captured that represents, these are the little ones closer to the
Yeah, I
other
put some
side.
paint on it.
Right, that's a different side. So those are the little ones. That's maybe the base of the
I think
pine.
that's, it is,
That's the base of
yeah.
the pine.
Mhm.
And another shot, but that's looking up at the pine.
Yes.
That's probably the.
That's it, that's the tree here, if you want to see
Maybe
this
that's a
one.
picture of the base.
Right.
It's kind of a hard angle, but that's probably what you want to show.
Yeah, if you can see it kind of leaning, this is it right here.
And see
Oh.
that leans out over towards the house, and it's just too large to cut that one limb off.
It leans more than the angle of the
Mhm.
photo, that's all.
Yeah, even the backside kind of curls over.
And is
And
that-
this is the other oak that is just straight up, that is right on the, you see, it's right on
Mhm.
the silt fence. You want that one too. The rest of this stuff, we're just gonna prune up. That little pine that we go to, it's kind of falling over.
Do you remember about how wide the diameter was?
It's probably about a foot. Usually we measure at 4 feet. 4 feet was probably about 12 inches.
So, I can see the angle, but
And the
then
base of it sort of starts where the
So that's-
topography starts to drop off.
Yeah, so, yeah, I understand leaving the stumps of things. Not grubbing up the stumps and disturbing the ground surface. So would commissioners who were, oh, that's a much different.
It shows how steep the terrain is
Yeah.
right behind it, so.
Yeah, it's this one.
I'm
It's
thinking is that one there.
It's that one, no, that's too far out of the work zone.
I remember thinking it was far out.
bark of this one, that's gotta be it there.
Yeah.
Bark on it.
That's the birch. And that's the oak.
The oak is probably 4 or 5 inches in diameter.
So does the commission agree that these are hazard trees?
Yeah, I would think so.
I think we were fine when we looked at them on site, that
Yep.
we were in agreement.
I wasn't there. I was there, and I guess my concern is just the stability of the slope, which makes sense to leave
To leave the slope,
stumps
yeah.
there.
Mhm.
I just don't know, cause it seems like, and Colleen noticed this, but there's like, it seems like there's water that's almost undercutting, like right here.
Yeah.
And it's just, it looks like it's eroding the bank, or the slope.
I think there's two
More.
areas. There's one here where they're gonna cut the big one,
Mhm.
and then there's one further near the bittersweet.
I'm just curious if that,
Um,
like, how that might affect what's happening there. Just because of all the water the tree would be taking. That's an issue.
I think it's more of an issue for clear cutting, for sure. I'm just seeing a perfect example, like right behind it, as to why it's good to leave more height to it. You know,
Okay,
the
sure.
tree with all the
Mhm.
holes
Yeah, we
pecked
can use
into
it up
it.
some, yeah.
So, see, so snags have a lot of value, wildlife habitat function and value.
She was kind of concerned with that, there's a, I think it's a hemlock that's got the woodpecker holes in it, but it's way down, it wouldn't even hit the house or anything.
Not
but-
only that, that's quite far out of
It
the,
is,
the
yeah.
work limit, and it's right at the break-in slope, or
Yeah.
distinct break-in slope there. So,
Mark Simpson came in for a riverfront area, we had that site, that guy
Mhm.
to cut trees. Can you do like a one-to-one mitigation still for tree cutting, so like just plant 3 extra trees because we're cutting down 3?
it's buffer zone,
Yeah.
so it doesn't have the same
Seem right.
performance standard.
Yeah.
The project didn't trigger a wildlife habitat evaluation, which is kind of where you'd start
That's true.
going into that, but I appreciate the thought, that's for sure. I think,
Yeah, there is a big, I pointed that big red,
Mhm.
red oak. That will, now that's exposed, that tree is gonna kind of overpower, most of the stuff there, and that's really a nice tree. That would, make a canopy over that area.
Yeah, and this didn't seem like it would affect the canopy much.
Right.
And it's probably just a matter of time before it comes down on its own anyways,
mhm.
so.
I mean, since this particular one is, set back from the silt fence as opposed to the black birch right at the silt fence. And this one, I mean, I'm fine with that one. My thoughts are, cut that one low to the ground, because it's right at the limit of lawn, but what are your thoughts about leaving more of a snag?
Yes, 6 or
Like a
8
6-foot sag, 6 to 8 foot snag.
Okay.
Something would
But
bear able to stand on the
that would
top
take
of
the
it.
danger part of it
Certainly.
out of it, and then it
Probably-
would,
It might just continue to grow,
it might stump sprout, yeah.
right, might sprout.
I mean, you might get stump sprout from that
Mhm.
black birch as well.
Mhm.
More species up here stump sprout than don't.
Okay.
It's a much bigger place. And I'm fine with the bittersweet encroachment getting taken care of. So. Is that where we are?
Mhm.
Okay, so the large diameter black birch set off set several feet off the silt fence line. The limit of work line will be left as a 6 to 8 foot snag,
Good.
so it'll just be topped. And then any material cut will be removed from the site, so, which is what you said anyway, so it works nicely. Can we pass that, Jay? I don't wanna drop it. No, it's not okay if I drop it, I'm pretty sure. But just, I guess I just wanted in the minutes that material will not be left on site, it'll be chipped and or otherwise removed from the site.
Alright.
So as a side note, that, the condo development to the south, it's been there, they've received a certificate of compliance a couple of years ago now. There's a great thunderstorm that we all went out.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fun time, it was just a very sudden downpour, and we just all got soaked. For a while, during construction, they had problems on those back slopes with slope failures. And then, so that's one reason, knowing that they had that problem right next door, that we're particularly sensitive to the slopes back here. So I think, are we all set now? Is there any,
Satisfactory to me.
good for now?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, good luck with the rest of the
Okay.
work.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. And when you have that recorded, just send in proof that it was recorded.
Yeah, the one thing is, you know, we're not gonna get grass growing there, and it's, right now, it's just staying frozen. I thought I was gonna
Mhm.
put turf there, but I think I'm gonna seed it and put hay.
Mhm.
They wanna move in by the middle of January, so I'll have Mark
Mhm.
do another as-built.
Mhm.
It's all graded now, we got
Sure.
the driveway and stuff, so we'll submit that. How many more meetings do you have? 2 in December or not?
No, well, oh,
So-
actually, hold on a sec. So one thing before we go too far, if you could use straw and not hay.
Yeah, straw.
Okay.
Yeah, straw.
And then, we have a December 12th meeting. The deadline for that was today.
Okay.
We had foolishly left a December 26th meeting on the agenda, but that's actually a holiday. So city offices will be closed. The schedule on the city's website has been updated. So, the city's website had some problems this afternoon,
Okay.
so they're working on fixing that.
Probably too many people shopping online.
Actually, there was someone, who shall remain nameless, so it wasn't me, hit the wrong key and wiped out all the agendas except one. And so the city's web designer, whoever it is, was working on restoring that part, but that's not the official posting place for agendas. The
Okay.
official place is physically on the bulletin board. So we're still set for tonight. So the next meeting is actually
January
9th.
9th, okay.
9th, and the deadline for that is, the Friday, December 23rd.
Okay.
And the legal notice for that, oh no, you don't need a legal notice for certificate of compliance, so don't worry about that. So, yeah, the Friday before Christmas is the deadline for the January 9th meeting.
All right, I'll tell Mark, so we'll get that.
Okay, and I'll try to get the 2017 schedule up.
So only one meeting in December, then the 12th.
Yeah.
And then we're out to the
If
9th.
if everyone's okay with that, if not, we can talk about,
See if anything comes up at the 12th, I guess, if it's something. It's probably gonna be pretty quiet time of year.
I would imagine it's gonna be pretty quiet, since it's so close to the holiday. I mean, really, the other option after that is the 19th. So, but most likely the 9th.
Okay, that works for us.
Okay,
All right.
great.
Good. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
So, emergency spill response. They have filed a closure report with DEP for the spills that occurred along 91. And we received a copy of it today. Would anyone care to take a look at it?
What should we call it thing, a closure, something?
Closure report. Notice environmental sampling results and closure report. Release tracking number, oh, there's an RTN, 1-20038.
1-00.
1-20038.
1-20038.
Yes.
Okay.
What's the rare species that's right there?
It could be several things, so it's so close to the Oxbow and the Connecticut River, it's probably bald eagle, sturgeon, could be, it could be mussels, it could be dragon and or damselflies.
Other options?
Yeah, right there especially, there are a lot of options. And it's actually very close to a good spot to see bald eagles.
Do we have to take any action?
No.
Or,
No, it's just the closure report, so, and it came in this afternoon. So,
or
I'm gonna share it, and then we can file it.
does it look like there are any follow-up actions that are needed, or the closure
Well,
report just?
it's a closure report, so
I don't know what that means.
closing out the release tracking number.
Okay.
With DEP, so,
So do we take it off the agenda? Or
um,
do we leave it on to wait and see?
So
I think
closure.
I wanna see if they issue if they, can I take a look where it is again?
It says permanent solution with no conditions.
Yeah, which as long as, is ideal,
Okay.
short of not having a spill, that's the best possible outcome.
So in the case that a permanent solution has been achieved.
That's what
or
the
that's
LSP is
LSP's
saying.
recommendation,
Yes.
or how does that work?
Finding opinion,
In opinion.
it's an opinion.
Do we wanna look at it at all, or?
If anyone wants to schedule a follow-up site visit,
I mean, you can get the area off the rail trail that's near the overpass, that's pretty accessible, but
I think I've been there, and I haven't noticed that they've been working there, so it's probably a good one.
yeah.
There were the orange cones and stuff.
I
my
haven't been there in
concern
a
was
while, so.
the areas where they had to clear vegetation in order to remove soil, potentially. That was what my concern was.
I don't think there was a lot of vegetation, other than grass that got removed.
Which is great.
I haven't been out there since the beginning, but I think it was primarily grassy area.
So if anyone wants, I can forward the email tomorrow, and if anyone wants to take a site plan and go do a site visit, they're welcome to.
Sure, just send the email.
Okay.
So you're going there?
I think I'll take a walk down there.
Take the dog for a walk.
Yeah. It's gonna be rainy all week, should be nice.
She'll love it. Well, it's perfect, you can let me know if there's a sheen.
Yeah, right.
In the runoff.
Yeah.
That might indicate otherwise.
Yeah,
Okay,
Okay,
good.
so Jay, do you just wanna take the file?
I can do that.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to enforcement actions, nothing regarding A, B, or C, Mr. Gall, Bernard Gall. No response, additional information from DEP regarding Caroline Circle. Autumn Properties, LLC, rear 161 Northampton Street.
Can I just,
No. Okay.
are we waiting on something from Caroline Circle, like DEP to get back to us, or?
I sent the plans to DEP and I
Okay.
haven't heard back,
Okay.
so,
Are we talking like circuit rider, or are we talking like
Tim McKenna.
okay.
But we can, it's been like 6 months, we can take it off, and if it comes back up, we can put it back on. Is
Okay.
everyone okay with that? So we'll take it off until further anything. We sent the enforcement order to David Boyle, and received this response by email on November 23rd. Hello Conservation Commission, I received the enforcement order today and frankly was quite disappointed in the severity of your response to our mowing in the wetlands at the rear of 161 Northampton Street. It is a severe overreaction and unnecessary. It is also obvious that you are catering to a few people on Highland Ave. This kind of out-of-touch reaction is exactly why we now have a lunatic as president-elect. I am having surgery on 12/8 and will not address this until January 15 at the earliest. Thanks, David. So, all things aside,
Wasn't he
this
here at the
is
meeting?
exactly what
He
we
was
discussed at that
here.
meeting. If he has concerns, he can review the
Okay.
meeting minutes.
Do it January, I guess.
And I have interpreted this and will accept this as a request for extension until January 15th. And I will send a response informing him that,
So we probably won't see him until like the 23rd then.
right, that our meeting schedule in January is the 9th and the 23rd. And, we'll be happy to see him at that time.
Do you want the text of that in minutes or not?
No, you can just say that I read Mr. Boyle's November 23rd, 2016 email to the commission into the record, and it's in the file.
Did he agree verbally to it?
Yes. Okay. Just check. Right. It may just appear different. Right. So, this file can go into the files. I have no intention of carrying it around with me. Okay.
So when are we extending that deadline to?
He stated January 15th in his
Okay.
correspondence. I don't think at this time we should discuss an alternate date, other than that I will email and provide the January dates.
Okay.
Okay. Open space updates, Echo West Orchard status.
I have a partial cost estimate, which is surprised, it's pretty low. They were saying $50 a tree to remove. Didn't that seem low?
Yeah, it's easy work.
I guess if it's
Yeah.
not a residence where people are, I don't know.
Yeah,
I-
right, cause if they make a mistake, it's not
Sure.
gonna destroy anything.
Yeah. Okay.
I
And.
think as long as they can drive around freely with equipment, it's easy to do.
Yeah, and my memory was that Russell had said that they could drive on their land along the tree line to
Okay,
access
I'm
it.
sure that's
right?
fine, yeah.
Okay. So there were 51 trees that were marked red on the map, but there's more that are in the satellite image.
Yes.
So I estimated like 60 some odd trees, and then for a day of brush hogging, it'd be $1,000 to approximately 4,500. So the thing I need to do now is get in touch with, they didn't feel comfortable pruning. So they suggested calling Bashista or Outlook. I think I'll also reach out to Park Hill
Okay.
to figure out who they do. Is it Russell who does?
Russell probably does his own work.
Okay. So maybe, I don't know if he could give us a cost estimate then. So I will figure that out for the 8 other trees. And then we'll have a cost. And so then is the next step to apply for CPA from?
I think we need, yes, and in parallel, we need to work out the RFP, RFQ, or something with Jessica.
But she's saying
We can't do that, but we need to define the work. I mean, we need to, I think we need a written scope
yes,
for this, and then we have to.
you need a scope for the CPA
Right.
anyway, so they'll be one and the same.
Right.
Did you ask them about shipping and leaving the wood chips there, or just taking everything out?
They were going to remove the trees.
Just entirely? So I was
Yeah.
thinking, what happens if we just left the wood chips there? Cause we don't use them for the trail.
Then it would attract bugs that like apple trees.
I was gonna say,
probably.
does that, what potential might that have to attract pests and or
Yeah.
the fungus?
Yeah, that might be a Russell question.
That's a good,
Yeah.
Okay.
you might want to put that.
Sure.
Potential hazards.
Or even I know the garden takes wood chips too, which is right next door. So maybe they want more wood chips, who knows?
Should
Just, it seems a shame to have it go to waste, cause I actually called some people too. I think it was like Duke's LLC said that it's so much cheaper to leave them
Mhm.
or chip it on site
Mhm.
instead of hauling everything out. So I don't know if that's, If you could ask
It
them.
was
Reasonable
cut.
option.
Russell was concerned about cutting things and then having them be there and having some kind of fungus grow on them, and that would get on his
Yes.
crops, so it'd be a good question for him.
And if we were to keep it to use on the trail,
Would
That
that
could
be
be
a
the
risk?
same issue as well.
Might be
Yeah.
the same.
Was someone saying at some point that the wetland flags have been removed? Or missing?
they're pink, right?
Yeah.
They're still there.
Right, because-
Our
okay.
trees
I think it was just
are-
like with the trees we
Oh,
tagged, they probably
okay.
blew away, they just break down in the wind or something.
Okay.
Yeah, cause it was almost.
Yeah.
All right, I was confused about the flagging you were talking about.
Yeah, sorry, the pink flagging is still up.
Okay.
Oh, I checked out that spot the other day. That one, I was like, maybe this is a little isolated wetland up here.
Okay.
And it did, like, I dug some holes and it was like upland soil.
Okay.
So that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Good.
It's just there is other wetlands, I think, near, obviously near that stream.
Yep.
So if we're gonna plan on going all the way back
Mhm.
towards the stream,
We need to think about avoiding or managing a stream crossing.
yeah, yeah. Or just doing more delineation.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Issues.
Thank you. Okay. So we're ready to move on?
Sure.
So we've discussed Paul Street Extension, got nothing on Pleasant Mills,
Nothing that's happened that I know of.
nothing on Nashwanik
Don't
Mills.
see any activity.
Nothing, I guess the next one to follow up on is,
Wait, what was, Paul Street Extension, Pleasant Street Mills was the next one?
under Paul Street Extension, do you have the discussion about the
I do.
veg? Okay. Pleasant Street Mills, no update,
What kind of wacky order are we doing in here? Probably with the, okay.
the order that they're printed in.
Okay,
It's okay.
all right, what was that, Pleasant Street Mills?
Yes, no update.
No, yes.
Nashwanik Mills?
Pleasant Street Mills, no, never mind, got my ears mixed up. Okay,
Okay,
pay no attention
I'm trying desperately,
to what I'm saying.
too late.
Okay,
Nashwanik Mills?
No activity there.
Okay, Oxbow, I'll try following up with Terry Smith on this now that we've closed out the other one. Again. Even though we on a roll.
the city's the owner on the Nashwanik one, but it's the actual fish and game on the other one, right?
Correct. One, David Boyle, A to Z Storage, 184 Northampton Street. Looks the same. I don't know if anyone's driven by, I don't know if
Pretty much
anyone-
looks the same, I mean, the
Direction.
foundation's in, it's backfilled, but I don't see much
Activity.
else happening.
Okay, well, we did extend that 2 years, so. Town Beach, Nashwanik Pond can come off the list because the certificate of compliance has been issued, yay. Lathrop, I don't think there's been another update. Williston, I don't think there were any updates this time around.
I don't think he had to do, I think we
We-
told him he
we
didn't have to.
monthly until
Right,
they-
Right, unless
right.
there's some activity,
Right.
because they're not doing anything at this point.
Right.
Just gonna remove the silt, erosion protection.
What happened? Okay.
Because you took one out.
Yeah, I messed something up here, but I'm gonna fix it. I'm sorry. Okay,
You sure?
no. After Lathrop, there was.
Williston?
Williston. I should really start with the minutes, not the last week's meetings on here. After Lathrop, there was Williston, no update.
Right.
After Williston, there was,
City of East Hampton, Nashwanik Pond Aquatic Vegetation Management?
yeah, that's what got me messed up.
No update. Ready? There's gonna be an update.
No way.
Yeah, seriously. Marvin, ready?
Yep.
Logan Properties off O'Neill Street. Received an email from Mark Reed dated Monday, November 28th, 2016.
Yep.
On November 16th, they had the pre-construction meeting. Jay Ryan, Dave Logan, Mark Reed.
What was the day of that? The
November 16th.
Yep.
They installed additional fiber log barriers and some minor tree cutting was required to install them. Are they actual fiber log barriers or are they straw wattles?
They look like, well, there looks like a straw in them.
Okay, so
It's
that's
got wood chips in them.
yeah, so that's it's not like a sock or a sack that's.
It's kind of a continuous sack, but it
Yeah,
looks like it's straw.
but is it
wound.
netting?
Is it
Netting on
plastic?
top
Yeah,
of the
so
straw.
that's.
I mean, they're good. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
no,
really
I'm not
good.
worried, it's just in my brain, that's a straw wattle, not a fiber log barrier.
Okay, it's a
Which-
straw wattle to me, yes.
Okay,
Not waddle.
not wattle,
Wattle.
not like a duck, wattle. Like a turkey.
What does that matter with other birds?
Alright.
That's how I did it. No work on site last week. Following activities will take place, weather permitting, this week. Complete installation of fiber log barriers at the rear of the site, cut trees within the proposed driveway area, and prepare for topsoil stripping at the entrance off of O'Neill Street.
What we talked about also was your concern about removing that prime soil and putting it in the parking area, and making sure it's covered so
Covered.
it doesn't get eroded, so that we talked about the planning meeting.
Great.
And he said he would like, instead of moving it there, he would like to put some of it right immediately into the proposed replacement area. Because that area has some piles of things that need to be removed anyways, old,
As long as it's prepared in accordance with the plan, sure.
correct. So what he was gonna do is put a straw wattle around that whole replacement area, so that it's gonna be pretty flat anyways, but that was what we decided, to put a straw wall around the whole area, so when he removes material, he can just take it from the middle of the road and put it right in the area, so we don't have to worry about erosion down in the parking lot or
Great.
runoff. So
Even
that
better.
was, that could happen that way also,
Okay,
all weather dependent.
right.
So he's gonna put the soil that he's stripping from the wetland area.
If the weather permits,
driveway
yeah,
he's gonna put straw wattles around here and take this soil right out of there and put it right in the area, instead of taking it down and storing it in the parking lot,
Okay.
as much as
So
he
he'll
can.
move it once instead of moving it twice.
Correct.
But does he have to,
He's gonna dig this out
yeah, does he have to
first?
excavate?
He has to remove all these little piles of not really topsoil, but fill that were
Yeah.
put in there,
Mhm.
which really is, once he takes those little piles out, this whole area will be flat.
Mhm.
So he's gonna excavate down to the final grade and then start piling?
Correct, from the road though, with a big excavator, so you won't have
Yeah.
to drive into it. So that'll be better,
Compacted.
it'll be much better if
So-
he does it that way.
I'm gonna make a note here that I'm gonna email Mark Reed.
Yeah.
And Mark was there at the time.
Yeah, and,
We got a plan of their mitigation area, right?
Yes,
it was part of the full set.
I have a full set here, but if you wanna, I don't know what sheet it's on that describes what they're doing.
Is that supposed to be done under the direction of a wetland scientist, or are there other?
Qualified environmental, so I'll remind Mark of those conditions,
Okay.
just so that it's not,
so
Is
that-
it, my concern is if he
Six
digs,
inch replacement area distribution.
yeah, because he doesn't dig down further than where the wetlands are supposed to be
right.
placed,
Mhm.
that it's not gonna make a wetlands.
Right,
It's just gonna be like hydric soils on top of upland soils.
Yeah.
That's not gonna work.
yeah.
Yeah. I'll read this.
So, so I guess if there's any reconstruction relative to that stuff they need to
Yep.
do.
Good. Colleen, you'll take a look at that too?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so that's it for updates, general business, meeting
Okay, well,
goes.
yeah, okay, well,
You sure?
we talked about Town Beach and then we issued a certificate of
Yep,
compliance.
right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, meeting minutes, October 24th, 2016. Why is there more than one copy?
I don't know.
Okay.
That was
Anyone?
I motion to approve the minutes from October 24th, 2016.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Ooh, those are chunky. All right, meeting minutes from November 14th, 2016.
I move to approve the meeting minutes from November 14th, 2016.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved. All right.
Do we have September 26th that
Oh.
Dan repaired some remarks that were
Okay.
in the
Some snippy remarks.
snippy remarks
Were
in
snipped out.
section 6E were corrected, so if anyone wants to look at that, he's printed it out, but,
Thank you. Anyone?
and that gets us up to date.
But we had already approved those minus the,
Yeah, I don't remember if we did or not, that's all, but that's the corrected copy that can go into the
Okay.
folder
I
if
think
we
we
did approve it.
approved them
Okay.
with those edits.
Changes, okay,
So,
I didn't remember
but that's, okay, so we're caught up.
that. We are caught up
I
with.
could, I actually didn't see in the other minutes if we had approved those minutes.
Do we want to?
Motion to
We
Why
should-
don't we grab the binder? No, we don't wanna double
no.
approve.
Yeah, we should double approve, because they're corrected now.
All right, fine. Would anyone care to make a motion to approve the September 26th, 2016 meeting minutes as corrected?
I motion to approve the September 26th, 2016 meetings as corrected.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
September 26th.
Okay, so correspondence, got a few things, we're doing great. So this morning, we received, or
You all set?
I'm assuming
Yeah,
this
do
is
page
morning.
4.
Yep.
Commission received an RDA for 11 Clap Street. However, Jessica Allen and I
This is
both
for-
identified some deficiencies.
That's where you were looking at.
One problem is that there was a legal notice published in today's Gazette. However, it lists the meeting date as December 18th, which is a Sunday. I believe Jessica has contacted the applicant's representative to notify them that, they need to, re-advertise with a new legal ad with a correct date on or before December 5th if they want to be included on the December 12th meeting agenda. However, we need plans and the applicant needs to sign the RDA. So, I think we need to just see how these things go. I think it was just, some, oversights from the experience. So, just, this is she scanned the information we do have for everyone to see. I'll just play it by ear. But speaking of dates, I meant to bring it tonight, but I ran out of time. So I identified 2017 meeting dates based on the usual, second and fourth Mondays. It actually doesn't have, there are too many conflicts until we get to, October, where, there are 5 Mondays in October. So,
It's hell.
so instead of, the 9th is a holiday, so the 2nd and 4th, if we were to shift to the 3rd and 5th, that might be an option, because I think that still leaves good gaps on either side. And then, of course, December 25th is a holiday, and that's the fourth Monday in December. And rather than shifting to the first and third and having back-to-back November and December meetings, I wonder if folks would give some thought to just the second Monday in December and leaving it at that.
Right.
So I will, I'll send that for everyone to review and input at the next meeting, and then we can get it posted to the city's website. And as I mentioned, we posted a corrected December schedule for this month, next month. It's already December in my head. Just clarifying that there will not be a meeting on the 26th because the city offices are closed. So, take that one off your calendars.
I've been standing outside in the cold.
Again,
Just to go back to this, I guess,
Okay.
what he's proposing is in the plans anyways. It just depends on like how far they're gonna dig down.
Okay.
This
Well, if he
right
follows
here.
this, he's
Yeah.
good, right?
Yeah, he should be good. I mean, it does say little wetland. Actually, more than that, but it's not like emphasized that
oh
much.
my, yeah.
Maybe that was oversight on our behalf.
Well, I mean, it's in the drawing of what he needs to do, so.
Yeah, it is a little vague though, cause it says 8 to 12 inches,
this is where the
which could be a
water
difference
receipts.
of like water levels, working out for the wetland. So it really depends on.
Well, we could talk to Mark about it
Yeah.
next time we see him. I mean, I don't see any activity there at this point.
Yeah.
So, regarding 11 Clough Street, we basically received an unsigned copy of WPA Form 1. And
There were no sketches of the location, was there?
no, Jessica's note is that it needs
Okay.
plan and
Okay.
needs a signature.
Okay.
But it's described as an area description, large yard with well-established turf. Work to include construction, addition, and replacement of existing septic tank. So we really do need that site plan, to figure out if there are any, how the regulations apply. I'm gonna, here, this is a duplicate. So, there is an anonymous message received 11/28 via mailbox. Why is the wetlands on Fedor property next to their closed dealership being mowed? They were brought in front of Conscom in the past for violating this wetland. My understanding is that if they continued the haying operation, that they could continue to do so as ongoing agricultural use of that land, because it predates its existing agricultural use. We've, when queried in the past with regard to, they were required to restore some, they really rutted up an area pretty badly, and they actually dug a trench to
Trenched it
further
one
drain it,
point,
which is
yes.
not
Right.
consistent with their hanging operation. One of the things that was required was they were required to have an environmental professional delineate wetlands in that field, and it's quite extensive. So, I guess the question to ask is, was it mowing or was it haying? And if it was haying, then it's agriculturally exempt, and if it's mowing for aesthetics, then it's not. And they produced
I can't
receipts.
say that I've seen the equipment out there doing it, but
Is this the one right next to the dealership? Or?
towards the center of town, the big grass fields.
How often does something have to happen that you actually have a prefabricated stamp received without contents?
In this town, it happens more than you would expect.
Oh, is that the post office?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
I've
that makes
never
better
seen it
sense,
in any
received
other
unsealed.
town, but
You-
So
you've
apparently,
gotten a
NRC,
few of those
you know,
since I've
UMass
been here.
Extension tried to send us something, but they failed. So now I'm just gonna use it to pull recycling.
We must have a
Please
machine.
do it.
At
You-
the post office? We must have a
That's
machine.
No,
not
it
part
wasn't,
of
it
the-
didn't seem like it was
Dealership,
ever
you can
sealed.
kind of-
sealed.
They,
Oh,
at the
yeah,
post
true.
office, they just open it up, take the stuff out.
Yes, we can use this for that.
Trouble in
I
cars.
think Joe that. All right, here's a
There
copy
must
of
be
special
something
permit
really good in
decision.
there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we looked at
This
this
is, so this can go into the file for Town Beach, this can go into.
boy,
No, we own some of them, but I don't know if they're different parcels.
Is this Boyle? No.
Oh, yeah, you gave Boyle away. Jay's got it.
Jay, you have the Boyle. That goes, can you put that under the paperclip or paperclip it to some of the reports? Or anything? Okay. Sweet. Okay, so,
So this is not the Boyle, this is the rail trail.
oh no, you don't, no, I don't want you to have the Boyle thing then. It's right here. That's fine. That's right, I didn't. Okay, so, so Ashley is out of commission. So, for a period of time to be determined. Since she had a baby, so we are down one. It still counts against quorum. Does everyone think they can be here December 12th?
As far as I know.
Okay, great,
I had a question.
yes.
So when we were on that site walk for Cumberland Farms,
Yes.
we were talking to the planning board, but are they gonna give us answers to that berm? Or should we start looking into that ourselves? Cause we had some berm questions, right? Yeah, right?
And
I
like
don't
the
know.
actual limits of work, like where the edges were.
So
Is
here's
that
the,
something we'll get like this, a little memo maybe? I don't know.
No one ever did show up from the project, right?
No.
No.
that's unexpected. So, the email, so Jessica Allen, in this official email correspondence, she points out that they do not address the local stormwater ordinance
Okay.
and,
To the consultant,
to the consultant.
but consultant reviewer,
No,
no,
Bowler Engineering
okay.
consultant, the applicant's representative. And they say, we will review this information and make any necessary design changes as part of the current round of revisions to the plans and drainage report. So that says, but if that's, so I think the most direct way to deal with that is for you to, ask Jessica Allen yourself.
Or look at their planning board regulations.
Right, and since I wasn't there, well, they weren't there anyway. It sounds like we'll be receiving revised information. And hopefully we will receive it with sufficient time to review it and discuss it at the December 12th meeting.
Yeah, I think my concern was who was it I was talking to? One of the guys said it was an Army Corps engineer wetland, and they said that they created the berm for the wetland's sake, and I was like, I don't know the history behind this at all. Like, does that usually happen?
It's
You
a,
create
it's a
berm?
state and federally jurisdictional area, so
So it could have happened.
I don't know when, I mean, my understanding was the berm was built as part of the the gas, whatever.
Could have been just to
facility.
protect those areas
Yeah.
when they
From
have
runoff.
gas there.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
spill containment or something.
Right.
For whatever spill liquefied natural gas would cause.
When they're gonna regrade them, is that an issue? I guess it's a historical question rather than like planning board.
I don't know,
No.
I'm not too,
It's, I mean, it's civil site layout question.
Okay.
I see it as that, I mean, that's all in that developed footprint, or that disturbed footprint, so. we'll
what,
see.
well, maybe we should talk about this at
The next
hearing,
meeting.
At the hearing, yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah.
So, we'll see what we get before then. And discuss it at December 12th meeting. Is there anything else?
I have an unrelated question.
Okay.
When we have people post the notices in the newspaper,
Mhm.
I know that we have to do that. Do we also have anywhere to post them online to make them more available to people who do not read the paper?
The agendas get posted online, the city's website?
Is that, and so that would be the only way that people would see them?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the agenda has a lot of, it has, anything that's in the paper is on the agenda.
Right,
And
but you
then
would
a
have to
whole lot
know
more.
to go look at the agendas. There
Right.
isn't just like a public notice board online.
And the butters get.
If it's a notice of
Sometimes-
intent, the
sometimes.
butters get notified by mail.
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn?
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Good work, Jay.